Hi. Okay, so I'm gonna make a video to help you install your dread wraps. So you received these probably from me. You're seeing this video. Now, in order to show you how I think you should put them into your hair, I actually have to do like a weird little strip in front that isn't real hair because I've got dreadlocks and they're meant to be braided into loose hair. You can also put them into your existing dreadlocks, but in that case you actually have to cut the loop that's at the top in half and then tie it around one of your dreadlocks is all you have to do. Then you have to braid it in. And it should stay. Um, I wouldn't recommend tying it super tight though, or you might get some breakage going on. But in the case of loose hair, what you're going to do is you're going to pretend that this is loose hair right here, first of all. I had to kind of clip it in. It's really yarn, but because I don't really have anything to use with this right now. But we're going to pretend it's loose hair. And what I usually do, if you're just getting like a small set of them, like 7 of them, 8 of them, or in the case of who I'm making this video for, I think I gave you, was it 12 of them? Or you got 2 sets? But anyways, what you want to do is you want to basically install them around your hairline right here, going all the way back, as far back as you can, back to the nape of your neck. And then you also want to put your hair down, and when it's coming down your head like this, and you have your part in the center. Well, first of all, you should probably have your part in the center for this at least, and then you want to put like 2 of them in back of the ones that you have here, at least 2 of them, maybe even 3, but I would suggest 2. And then for you, since you have the synthetic threads too in your order, I would actually do, when you separate them to go around your hairline and then those couple right here, I would actually, between each one, put a synthetic thread to cover that space. Anyways, so what you're going to do is you're going to have your sections, or with me, I just section it as I go. I don't really pre-section it. You're going to take your dread wrap, whichever one you want to be in the center. I'm going to get one that you can kind of tell. Okay, so here's one. You're going to put your hair through the loop, just like you do with the synthetic thread, and then you're going to braid it. Divide it and then braid it in. Now when you braid it, since the loop is up here and it's like this small little piece, what I do is I primarily braid on top of the braid over and over again, right in this little section. You'll see what I mean. I don't really go down the bulk of the wrap. I just try and braid on top of itself right here, which is definitely possible by going kind of back and forth to make that part a little thicker. And you don't want to pull it too tight as you're braiding it. But yeah, don't pull it too tight. Let it, at first you're going to have to pull it kind of tight in order for it to stay in there, but after you get it going a few times, I would recommend not having it as tight. And then, see, I'm not even going to probably do the whole thing right here, but eventually you're going to get to the end of your hairs. And then what you do from there is if you have some matching yarn that matches your wraps, which actually maybe I'll start sending that out with people too. And you can actually take a little piece of yarn and tie it, instead of rubber banding it off, tie it with a little piece of yarn. And then what you want to do is you can go back over it with just a small piece of yarn too and wrap over your hair, especially if your hair is not the color of the wraps, to hide your little braid right there. And you just wrap over it and then tie a knot at the end of wrapping. So eventually you're going to get this little section up here that is just about as thick, hopefully, as, or close to, as thick as this starts. But if it isn't, that's okay. I did a really bad job trying to use the webcam to see what I'm doing, but, if this is hair and you're wrapping over it, you're obviously going to keep wrapping yarn around it until it's even. And then, let's see if I take this clip off. Yeah, I do one in the center and then I keep going out. And then what you do is you pull it back in a hair tie. And you keep doing that in sections. See if I can kind of show you. It's really hard like this, like I'm installing them in my hair right now. You keep doing it evenly. And really, since these are pretty long and pretty big, when I sell my sets of 7, it's enough to get a really cool, like almost a goddess alien look. It's really awesome. Kind of like a dinosaur too, is what it reminds me of. Because I mean, as you see, these are pretty thick, and there's three of them. So if you had a set of seven, you're looking at you have four more you can put in. So you put in two here and two here by your naps of your ears, and then when you put it all up in a bun, um, they're all going to sweep up, and because they're really pliable and you can twist them and they'll stay, and they're really long, you can actually do this big like crazy bun with it and tuck it in and make like a fan out of it if you want to that goes around your whole head. You can just totally warp it and make almost like a sculpture out of your hair. So that's what I'm talking about when I say it kind of really depends on how you put them in. And this is kind of a bad example. So I think what I'm going to do actually is maybe put some in my hair because it's a little different when you're putting them in dreads because all you have to do is tie them in at the base, like I said. So I think maybe I'll put some of them in and then I'll come back and kind of just show you what it looks like when you put your hair up when you have a few of them in. Of course, when you have loose hair, your hair is not quite as full as mine will be. But if you have some synthetic dreads mixed in with the loose hair between each one of these, then you're going to have a fuller head. Plus, if you have long hair and you backcomb your hair a little bit, it's going to just like make it that much more um, cool, I guess. So hopefully this helped you out. I know it's kind of a crappy video to show you on. It'd be easier if I could um, show you on somebody else, I guess, because I have these threads in, but we're not in the head thread. Anyways, I'm not going to try to get it out right now, but how you would get it out, in case you're concerned about that, is you would take, find your little knot and untake it, and then you untwist it, and then once you get down to the braid, you can pull out your braid just by clipping a little piece of yarn that you tied it, and then slowly just picking your hair out of there and pulling it out. You can also do a full head of these, but it can get a lot heavier than synthetic threads do because they're obviously a little thicker and a little heavier. So, and a lot bigger too. So you end up getting just like this, like huge, square all the way. I mean, not square, but it can be pretty cool too, especially if you get a bunch of them in, and then you can like put them in like almost like a crazy like mohawk type of thing going on. Yeah. Anyway, I'll be back and I'll show you what I was talking